Welcome to The Actor's Choice, where the actors and actresses have a chance to talk about themselves and their careers. Join us now for the next hour as we explore the marvelous industry of acting by actors and actresses from today's exciting show business world. And now, direct from Hollywood, here's your host, Ron Brewington.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ron Brewington, and welcome to The Actor's Choice. Roll it, Tony.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we celebrate Black History Month, today we are very happy and proud to have a very unique and special guest here today with us. In 1987, this guest became the first African-American Radio City Music Hall Rockette, making her the first Black female performer since the New York City Troops establishment in 1932 to be honored with the distinction. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jennifer Jones. Greetings, Jennifer, and welcome to The Actor's Choice.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Wouldn't have it no other way. It is a distinction. But before we begin, can you please tell us, where were you born?
I was born in Newark, New Jersey, Karamas Hospital. Yes. Yes. And I grew up in Newark for a few years. Then I moved to Hillside. And then I finished my education, my high schooling in Randolph, New Jersey.
Got you. Newark, New Jersey. Oh, yes. I remember Payshine. Oh, yes. A lot of folks don't know anything about the Radio City Music Hall. We got a couple of slides here. Tony, can you put the first one up? This is what it looks like from the outside. That yellow thing you see down there, ladies and gentlemen, that you will always see in New York City. Am I right or wrong?
The yellow taxi cab, of course.
But that's the Radio City Music Hall outside. The next picture is the Radio City Music Hall inside. And when you say a rockette, some people say, what the heck is a rockette? Well, in the next picture, we'll see what a rockette is. There they go. There they go. My God.
High kicks. Yes.
High kick. Woo! You have to stay in shape for that one. But my goodness. But okay, so you're born and raised in Newark. What made you get the idea that you want to be on the stage as a rockette?
Well, initially, I always just wanted to be on the stage. Becoming a rockette came later. I always loved dancing. My parents were big Broadway people, and they took me and my sister to see The Wiz 5 times. The Wiz that was with Stephanie Mills and Jeffrey Holden and Mabel King. And after each performance, we would stand outside and wait for autographs. And as a little girl, 8 or 9 years old, I wanted to be the one walking out of that stage door. I didn't know in what capacity. I knew I loved dance, but I didn't know how to get there. So my initial dream was to be on Broadway. So when I started learning the trade and honing in on my dancing, that's what I was focusing on.
Now you had your father helped you out a little bit there, didn't he?
Yes. So my parents were very supportive in the beginning of my dancing. They, of course, as a little girl, paid for all of my classes. You know, encouraged me to go to recitals. But once I said I wanted to do this all the time, they supported it. So they supported me a little bit, but then they said, you know, if you're going to do this, then, you know, you have to find another way. And if there's a will, there's a way.
And so what was that way, if you please?
So I just knew in my soul and in my body that I needed to be there. And there were friends along the way who helped me find a place. I found a part-time job to help with expenses and just audition for that next job.
Okay. We have a picture. Tony, if you can put that picture up. This is a picture. If you'll see where the gentleman is standing there in the middle, who's that dark-skinned lady standing next to him to his right?
Former President George Bush.
Wow.
Yes.
How did it feel to be the one and only when you were there?
it was, to answer that question, I'd like to go back just for a moment.
Yes.
When I first joined the Rockettes, there was big publicity around me, and the head of the PR, excuse me, was really not happy with me being there. So she pulled me aside right before my Super Bowl debut performance, and she told me nobody cares about me, my story, and I was considered old news. So that in itself put me on a whole nother journey of what I was doing was not a big deal. So to be the one and only there, I dimmed my light, and I didn't think it mattered. I didn't think anybody cared. So to be the one and only was kind of lonesome.
Yeah. Were some of the fellow Rockettes, did they talk to you, just not talk to you, things like that?
There were some people that were very happy that the line was being brought into another dimension. There were some ladies that were not so happy about it, and they didn't talk to me. So I was navigating my way.
Got you. Now the Rockettes started or Radio City Musical started in 1932. So that was a long haul. And here we are now, in 1987?
Yes.
So
they were founded in 1925 in St. Louis, Missouri. And Radio City became the home in 1932. And then it was 1987 when I was first hired.
Wow. Did you ever run into anybody else, African-American, who was trying to get that job?
I didn't even know that they were looking for a Black female dancer to join the line. I went because I was trying to learn the ropes of the business. And of course I wanted to be on Broadway. So this was a good, way for me to practice my nervousness of being. But I remember one other African-American auditioning when I did.
Wow. I've been in situations like that myself as an African-American. Being in the Navy, I had that happen to me when people look at you, what are you doing here? Why do you want to be here? Don't do this, don't do that. It hurts, and there's nobody out there to help you. Well, God, of course, will always help you.
Yes, that's true.
Always help you.
Very true. Yes.
Wow. We have a video I want to show you. It's this is when you were being offered a job at the Super Bowl 1988 Super Bowl game. Roll it, Tony.
At that time, I didn't pick up the phone. I always let it go to voicemail or the answering machine. And I happened to pick it up, and she said, "Jennifer, this is Violet Holmes, and we'd like to offer you the Super Bowl halftime show."
Wow. Ooh, takes my breath away. The next photo that we've got shows you wearing an outfit. Here's one outfit, okay, which you just saw. And can you show the next one? Another outfit. So you were really wearing some very nice outfits. Wow.
They were beautiful. The first one was designed by Bob Mackey, and that's actually my favorite costume that I've worn as a Rockette. There's the beads on there that make their own music as you dance. It's called Dancing in Diamonds, and that was my favorite.
Okay. There's a group called the Rockettes of Color Alumni. Can you tell us about that?
Yes. So that has formed just a few years ago, like right at the beginning when COVID was happening. And all the Rockettes of Color got together. There's two women, Lainey and Sally, who actually formed this group, who are Rockettes of Color, former Rockettes. And it's a place where we can all share our experiences together, what we endured as Rockettes, both good and bad, and just have our own sisterhood of sharing experiences, feelings, and everything that goes with being in this sisterhood that we experienced.
Wow. I found a video as I was doing some research where you were actually talking about what it was like from the first time that you remembered when you were in that room. Tony, can you roll that, please?
Being back home, the Rockettes' home, it feels good. This was the room I actually had my audition in, and I can see myself as a young 19-year-old just being nervous and wanting to dance, because dancing was in my heart, my body, my soul. This room brings back a lot.
There are a lot of young ladies who, when they say, particularly the generation, I mean, we're talking 1987, now we're talking 2023. There's a lot of differences. Talk about some of the differences that you've seen since then and now, because you spent, what, 15 years on the line?
Yes, I was on the line for 15 years, and there is so much, a vast amount of differences that I see.
Mm-hmm.
Radio City, Madison Square Garden are trying to diversify the line more. They finally acknowledged me as the first African-American Rockette in 2020, which, you know, I didn't think would ever happen. Because for such a long time, they tried to, you know, sweep how long it took them to hire the first Black Rockette.
Yes.
They now have like skin tone tights that match every Black and brown lady that's on the line.
Mm-hmm.
They have a whole athletic fitness department that helps keep their bodies in shape. And I think that they're just trying to do more of an outreach to get more women of color on the line by doing outreach programs and doing a Rockette conservatory where these ladies can go and they practice Rockette routines, get Rockette training for free, meals are paid, shoes are paid for, a place to stay, flight, hotel, everything is paid for to get these ladies in shape to try to be the next generation of Rockettes. So I do think that they're trying to diversify and bring the line to what it should be today.
Right, what it should be today.
Yes.
Have you thought about writing a book?
I have, and I have 2 books coming out. I have a children's book coming out the end of this year with a Dancing Jen Barbie doll, and that book is called On the Line. Mm-hmm. And my memoir, Becoming Spectacular, also published by HarperCollins, is coming out in 2024.
How about a movie? You think you can see a movie?
I can definitely see a movie. I've worked with, you know, some people trying to get a movie and a television series off the ground. I'm still in the process of trying to see how I can make that work, but that is something that I'm definitely, I have ruminating in my mind.
That should be nice. I can just see a scene now where your mother and father have a chance to see their daughter up on that stage and how they felt about it. It's about that time when you start getting the Kleenex out, get the Kleenex out.
Yes. My parents were very supportive after I became a Rockette. They actually flew out to San Diego to be with me during that Super Bowl time, even though I did not get a chance to see them or have dinner with them. Just knowing that they were there and having their support meant the world to me.
Oh, that's great. That is great. There's another part of your life that we'd like to talk about real quickly. Colorectal cancer survivor. Can you tell us about that, please?
Yes. So, as you know, I've been dancing my whole life. I became vegetarian at the age of 23. Mm-hmm. And at 50 years old, at the recommended age of going to get a colonoscopy, I was diagnosed with stage 3 colorectal cancer. Mm. And for me, that was very embarrassing. And I felt very ashamed. I was the healthy one in my family. and I didn't tell my family for a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So I battled stage 3 colorectal cancer for 8 months with chemotherapy treatments and surgery. And now I'm happy to say that I am cancer-free.
Amen. Amen. Now there's one. I'm alive because I got screened. That's a message that a lot of people need to see. That, as I told you just a few moments ago, the reason that I wear this myself, this one, I'm a double prostate cancer survivor. Anytime you can get past cancer, get through it, it is something that should be thought about. Basically, can you give us an idea what were some of the symptoms that might have led people to get colorectal cancer?
For me, I had, like I said, I just turned 50. I felt a little bloated, a little bit more gassy, a little constipation. And I just figured, oh, I'm just getting older. I'll have to go get a colonoscopy, get screened. And as I got closer to my screening, I said to my doctor, can we kind of like push up my colonoscopy screening? And she was like, oh, you're healthy. You're fine.
Yeah, right.
Later to come to find out I wasn't fine. And that was another thing. I feel like maybe I was pushed off because I was African-American and I wasn't taken seriously. And that is why I am such a staunch advocate for African-Americans to get screened. I know that there's a stigma against doctors, or African-Americans are afraid to go to doctors because of past histories with their relationships. There's a lack of communication sometimes between the family. They don't know all the cancers, and it's something that, let's face it, it's not easy to talk about. No. So I'm a staunch advocate to get screened, and I work a lot with the Colorectal Cancer Alliance, and there's a plethora of information if you go on their website.
Okay, Tony, can you show that next shot that we have there? This is there we go. You can see where you get together with these programs because again, people don't understand, when you get past the age of 40, you need to start seeing yourself a doctor and having a physical at least once a year. Myself, I go twice a year just to be on the short side. Because
absolutely. And it's good to know that the American Cancer Society lowered the age from 50 to 45 for colorectal screenings, and colorectal cancer is being found in younger and younger adults.
Okay. A final question, madam. What are you doing these days?
Well, I'm keeping up with my book and my dancing Gen doll and my memoir. And I have, like this TV show that I'm trying to get off the ground, and a movie efforts. And, I like to spend time with my family and enjoy life. God is good.
God is good. Amen. Like I said, God put you here for a reason. Jennifer, I most sincerely thank you for being with us today as we celebrate Black History Month. You have survived a tremendous sacrifice, which has opened the doors for other Black females to participate in the Rockettes. Now, we wish you the very best in your future. And please thank your manager, Jerome Rowe Brooks. And thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Indeed. This is the Actor's Choice. I'm your host, Ron Brewington. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to let you know that we're asking our Actors Squad to help us get former baseball player Curt Flood into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Now, Curt, who passed away January 20th, 1997, was the husband of one of our wonderful guests, renowned actress Judy Pace. Now, all you got to do is call us at our office, 213-349-3941. That's 213-349-3941. We sincerely thank each and every one of you for being a part of this magnificent baseball player. Okay? Now, I got a question for you, ladies and gentlemen. How many of you have ever thought about having a career in broadcasting? The glitz and glitter you see in the business, and say to yourself, hey, I can do that. Well, just so you know, I've been in broadcasting myself over 30 years. And do I like it? I love it. And I teach broadcasting at Santa Monica College in a course called Media 13. That's broadcasting, announcing, and production 2 days a week. The course is online, so it makes it very, very easy for you. For more information, make a call to 323-533-1036. That's 323-533-1036. Here's what I'm saying. Go ahead and give it a try. You'll be glad you did. And we still have some openings for the class. So I ended by saying this. Do you want to get into broadcasting? Roll it, Tony. Ladies and gentlemen, let's see what I put that. I made a little mistake here. Our next guest today is an award-winning playwright and the producing artistic director and founder of Machant Theater Films. Now, she's presenting the critically acclaimed play Garbo's Cuban Lover, which you just got a taste from the video that we just saw. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Odalys Nanin. Good to see you, lady. Good to see you back again. Thank you for coming on the Actor's Choice.
Ron. I'm excited to be here again with you.
Indeed. From what I've seen, looks like you have a winner in this play.
Yes, we do. Garbo's Cuban Lover. It's amazing play about Mercedes Acosta and her love affair with Greta Garbo, played by Lady Denier, and Marlena Dietrich, played by Katie Patel.
Okay.
And the cast is great. And it's a wonderful show. It's travel back in time into the golden age of Hollywood, which is the best, right? 1930s.
Indeed, indeed. Can you, before we get into it, can you please tell us where you're from originally?
Well, I was born in Cuba, Havana, Cuba.
Wow. Okay.
So okay. I'm an immigrant. My father and my mother, they asked for political asylum, after the fiasco with Castro. And so I was raised actually in Brooklyn, New York. And then we moved to New Jersey, the suburbs. And then I just, loved California, and I drove across country. And once I was here, I just fell in love with California. I see myself as a California girl.
Good. I'm going to give a plug here, if you don't mind. Being from Cuba, there's a restaurant in this town that you know which one I'm talking about. Versailles, of course.
Oh, yes, of course. Versailles has been around for a while. There are other restaurants besides Versailles.
Oh, yes. There's
a Criollo, there's Havana Mania. But Cuban food is delicious, of course.
It is. Mr. Garcia owns that place, and he's owned it for years, and I've been going to him for years, and I mean, the way they cook good food over there.
They do.
Makes you come back for seconds. It makes you want to do one of these things when you go to sit down and eat something to eat.
Actually, Betty Porter's Bakery is donating some Cuban appetizers for our red carpet opening night gala, February 11th. So you should definitely come and see the show. And then we'll have a little red carpet appetizers,
I got you.
And we take lots and lots of selfies.
Odalys, you have done a lot of work over the years. We want to show people one of a recent job that you did. This is called the roll it, Tony.
I need to know everything that happened the day Angel disappeared.
It was a Tuesday. The children were in the front yard, but Angel never came back in.
Did you see anyone talking to them?
No car, nothing. The neighbors helped me look.
How did you first get into this business? What made you come into it?
Oh my goodness. I was taking political science, and I decided to take one of those, classes just to get credits. And it was called Living Theater, taught by Professor Vern Smith. And he had us go to like off-Broadway shows and watch them and do reports on them. And I would always get A+. And then one day he had auditions for a show, and I auditioned for the show. And he took me to his office, and he sat me down, and he said, I think you have a talent for this. You should really pursue it. And that's how actually it all started. Truly, I found there was an epiphany that happened for me when I auditioned for that play, because I had to cry. And the fact that I was able to do that, I was really touched by it. And then I guess that's how, you know, I found that calling that you can't deny, you know. So Vern Smith, yeah, he's responsible for changing my life, actually.
Year was 1997, and you started a theater, Macha Theater. Here's a picture of it right there.
Macha Theater Company, yes. Well,
Yes.
that was our venue in West Hollywood for 11 years. And a lot of productions happened there. You know, Al Pacino workshop one of his productions there for 3 months, and then took it to Pasadena Playhouse. Tom Hanks came there to see a play that we were doing there. So yeah, it was just a wonderful experience to have that space. But, you know, it was sold. And unfortunately, you know,
but you have another theater now, right? Which one is the one you got now?
Well, right now I've been 4 years, no, actually 5 years, producing at Casa 0101 Theater.
There it is.
I call it my new home because it's in the community. I love the space, you know. Lopez is the artistic director, and she's just wonderful. And so Manuel. So I've kind of made it my new home. So that's where I produce. Indeed.
Yes. Here's another, you've done a lot of plays also. Here's one that you had a chance to do. This one is Frida, Stock of Passion.
Frida, Stroke of Passion, yes. I did that 3 times.
Yes, I had a chance to be there to see it. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, when I went to see this play, you couldn't move. There was no seats available. The place was full. You do know how to bring them in. You really know how to bring them in, right?
Well, Frida is a special being, a special, very special soul.
Advice you would give to young ladies or actresses coming into the business, what would you tell them?
Follow your gut feeling and don't give up on your dreams. If you really want to do this, if this is what you want, don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
Okay. All right.
That's what I did.
Yeah, that's good advice, because a lot of people, they think that it's, you know, just, I can be a star. I walk in the door, I'm a star. No, it don't happen that way.
Well, you know, you really have to be very passionate about it and very dedicated. It really has to become, you can, you know, you have to do it. Otherwise you can, you know, feel fulfilled. It's a fulfillment. It's a soul artistic fulfillment that you have, and you have to do it. There's just no other way.
Okay. Like the way I hope y'all listening. The lady had something to say there. The lady had something to say there. Now,
you know, I've written 10 plays, and yeah, 10 plays, yes, and 3 of them have been published. Frida, Stroke of Passion, Skin of Passion, which is a beautiful play, and Garbo's Cuban Lover. So they're there. You can go and read them if you can make the show. Gotcha. Of course, I always strongly advise to come see the show, because the actors bring the breath of life into my words, and really not till you see it on stage with the actors, you know, can you really fully understand what the piece is about, what the message is about.
Okay. Garbo's Cuban Lover. Can you show us that poster, Tony? Tony's showing poster. Oh, look at that poster. He put that up there. That's nice. That says a lot, doesn't it? That poster right there. Tell us what it's all about.
Well, it's about, I am portraying the role of Mercedes de Acosta, which was a New York socialite. She was a poet, a playwright, and she got lucky. She had a very big agent in New York City, and she got a job with MGM Studios to write a screenplay for Paula Negri, which was like the big star back then. And of course, she got there, and 3 days after she got there, she managed to be introduced to Greta Garbo, who became the love of her life. And that's why I decided to write this play, because, you know, I always was in love with Greta Garbo, her work, her persona. But it wasn't until I actually learned about Mercedes de Acosta and her visionary way of seeing the world. You know, she was really ahead of her time. She would say things like, I won't live to see it, but there will come a time when 2 women will be, you know, free to love each other. And that was really what got me going to write the play and to do all the research that I've done.
I can see it worked out beautifully. Next one shows a poster that you have already out. Look at that. That's beautiful. I like that. Gives you a date. February 10th to the 25th.
Yes, we're doing 7 shows, 3 weekends, and you can get the tickets, machatheater.org. Okay. And they're selling fast, so, you know, go for it.
Go for
And we have an amazing cast. 50% of directing is casting your play correctly. And we have an amazing, amazing cast. We have Skip People. He plays Irvin Tholberg, the editor, and the director, Mr. Von Stein. We have Maya Surgic, and we have Sedge Spini playing Salka Viertel, who was the best friend of Greta Garbo, by the way. She was really very close to her. And, we have also starlets, a lot of music. We have Puppy Kirk, which was one of the lovers. She was a model in Paris that Mercedes met, and she had this very intense relationship with, played by Bruna Bertossi. And, I can write the play, but the talent really is through the interpretation of the actors. And of course, my co-director, Angela Nicholas, she's been superb. And it all comes together. It's really an ensemble work. It's an endeavor that is done as a group, as a family. I call it my theater family.
Yes. Next photo, Tony. Okay, there we go. That's the schedule that you have right there. It is marvelous. We can see from the February, today is the 6th. The tickets are still available, ladies and gentlemen. Please go see this play.
And I also wanted to mention, Ron, that Isadora Duncan was a very special lover of Mercedes da Costa. I mean, she would privately to Mercedes in her own barn, and Kezia Elwin is portraying Isadora Duncan very beautifully. And it's a spectacle. It's really, I've added a lot of digital images and videos, and it's just really wonderful to see, the light design, the set design, it all comes together, and you should not miss it. So it's a live experience.
We just happen to have a clip. Roll it, Tony.
Did I ever really have you?
Yes, you did have me. As much as you could.
Then you must play your part in this book, the same way that I must play my part in writing it.
I will never call you again, for as long as I live.
Of all the many lovers I had in my lifetime, you were the only one.
Odalys, you make that look easy.
It's amazing because that's what's wonderful. We do it for the audience. The audience comes in, they sit down, they see this amazing show happening in front of their eyes.
Yes.
It's live theater. It's a very special event. It's in the moment. You can't get it anywhere.
Right.
It takes a lot of work and a lot of rehearsals to get it to be that beautiful, and that flawless. But it's really wonderful when you hear the applause. It all makes sense, and it all is worth it.
Final question, madam. What excites you the most about this play?
Oh my goodness. The unending passion of Mercedes da Costa and her eternal hope for a better future for the LGBTQI community. She died a year before Stonewall.
Yes. But
she stood her ground, and she wrote her autobiography, and everybody stopped talking to her because of it, especially Greta Garbo. That was like one of the things she didn't do, was to mention her name. And she did, because she believed that her story had to be told. And she was right, because here I am, writing this amazing play about her and her relationship and her passionate, loving romance that she had with Greta Garbo.
Thank you, lady. You'll make it look so good. Odalys, thank you so much for being our guest today. You get better and better and better with time, my dear. And best wishes for this play. You ready? Break a leg.
Thank you, Ron.
Thank you. And say hello to my good friend, your good friend, Jasmine Espada of Espada PR.
Oh, yeah. Jasmine Espada. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, what a lady.
PR person. She's amazing.
Indeed.
Gracias.
Indeed. Gotcha. Ladies and gentlemen, Odalys Nanin. Good to see you again.
See you.
Okay. This is the Actor's Choice. I'm your host, Ron Brewington. Roll it, Tony. information about the TAC Roku channel, please call us at 213-349-3941. That's 213-394-9, correction, let's do it again, 3949-3941. Too many nines in the net. Okay, thank you. Roll the photos, Tony. Okay. Our next guest today has been doing some good acting work out there, along with film work. I read his bio, ladies and gentlemen, and I see he has got some excellent potential. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jael Saran. Did I say that right?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
2 out of 2. All right. Greetings, my friend, and welcome to the Actor's Choice.
Yeah, hello. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. It's interesting how this gentleman came here today. We knew about him, but another gentleman, unfortunately had some problems and had to go away. And he sent this young man to us, for which we're very happy and proud for. Thank you so very much, Dale. Thank you very much. Okay, here we go. What made you get into acting?
Actually, I think it's really funny. I grew up in church, or I came up in church.
Okay.
And I did a lot of the Christmas and resurrection plays. And I was a really quiet kid, and surprisingly enough, I felt really comfortable on the stage. And so I remember thinking as a little kid, oh, okay, I could do this. This is something I could do. But it wasn't until I was in middle school, I was watching, I don't know if you remember the show MTV Cribs.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they were doing a segment for the child celebrity stars.
Yes.
And I just remember I was looking and I was watching and I said, well, he's an actor and he got all of that. Well, that's what I want to do now. If acting is the way to get it, then that's what I'll do. I'll just be an actor. And just from then on, that just kind of stuck in my head. And as I became an adult, I just genuinely grew a love of acting. Forget the materialistic stuff. I genuinely just love acting. So I just kept on going with it and said, no, this is genuinely for me.
So something special made you want to go and get into it, huh?
Yeah.
Let's back up just a taste. Where were you born at, sir?
I was born in Inglewood, California.
Did you say Inglewatts?
Inglewatts, Inglewood. We always up to no good.
Oh, yes. One of my old friends used to be a city councilman, and I would always tease him. Danny Tabor was his name. You remember him? And I'd say, Inglewatts. He'd go, hey, man, that's not us. But these days, that picture you just saw, Inglewood has grown up beautifully.
Yes.
Beautifully.
Yes.
Wow. Houses. Everything is there.
The Forum, the SoFi Stadium. Yes.
Say again.
The Forum, the SoFi Stadium, and I know they're doing a whole lot more. Inglewood is coming up.
Right. I live one across the street from me. I'm in LA, and across the street from me is Inglewood. Across the street from me. Show you where I live at.
We're neighbors, sir. We're neighbors.
Oh yeah, we're neighbors, indeed. Okay. Education, as I call it, edumacation. It's to me, I teach over at Santa Monica College, which we'll talk about community college in just a moment. But you went to a community college, Southwest Community, didn't you?
Yes. I went to Southwest Community College, and I was taking some theater courses. Beginning how to acting, and then history of theater, because they say it's always good to know your history.
Right.
And surprisingly enough, it was the history of theater that kind of snowballed my way into acting, because my professor, she really took a liking to me, and to this day, I don't really know why, because it wasn't an actual acting class, so she never saw me act, but she really liked
my brother. Your presence.
I'll take that. It was my presence. I will take that. And she took me on, and she said, "Hey, I'm part of this theater company. I want you to come along." And it just went on from there. I went there, met the right people, and just started making all the right connections, and I just kept on going.
Was that Kim Harrington by any chance?
It was Kim Harrington.
Yes. You told me that, by the way.
I did.
And you plugged.
A little secret between you and I. Sometimes I don't even know how I'm an actor. I forget the simplest of things. Yeah. Like, you said this. I'm like, did I? Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah. What the heck? One of the good things, and I mentioned this, a lot of folks, I teach at a community center, a community college. You went to a community college. Mm-hmm. We like to think, and one of the good things about going to a community college, and this is what I tell a lot of my students, making that transition from high school to college sometimes can be a little rough. Sometimes it can't. I have a little nugget that I ask people, my students sometimes. I said, first of all, how many hours are there in a week? And then I start counting to see how many people know how many hours are there in a week. I'm not going to put you on the spot. It's 168 hours.
Good.
He said, how did you get 168 hours? I just took 24 times 7. That's how you get it. I have another one. You know, they always say that every day you learn something new. Well, Jael, I learned something yesterday. Let me share it with you. You're familiar with what they call the second brain? You ever heard of that?
I have heard of the second brain, yes.
What's your second brain?
Oh, I don't know what's to that full capacity, but I know I've heard of it because I took a psychology class and they talked about it. Oh, that
second brain.
Not that second brain.
Hope y'all out there looking. This is it, second brain. Sometimes when you forget things, you don't know how to do this, you want some information, right here. Okay, Google. Look, it just came on the line. Look at it. It just came on the line. Second brain.
That is absolutely correct, because I don't go anywhere without my phone.
So you learn something new every day. We just learned it. Now go out and show that to your friends. Hey, I got a second brain. You know.
Absolutely.
Oh God, but no, seriously, community college is very, very good for you. It really gives you an opportunity to make that transition a lot easier for you. You get all your general stuff out of the way. I know over at Santa Monica, we're the lead in people going from transfers from one school to another. We've been doing that for years. I've been over there 20 years myself, and it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy the students because a lot of them come there with good intentions, good attitude, and that is to do what? Get an education. They want to do that. They want to be that. That looks great. Okay. Absolutely. Okay. Are you ready? Now I've been checking it out here. I see you've been doing some little shows you've been doing here. Let's call out one. I hear that you have transitioned into film.
Yes,
Step back,
sir.
Mr. Rob. Step back. How you like it?
I absolutely love it. It was a bit of a transition because being in theater, you have to be very expressive because you have to reach everyone in the audience.
Yes.
So you have to act with your entire body, whereas film, it's very condensed. If you make the big expressions, you're overacting, and that's how it can come across. So it was a bit of a transition for me to learn how to condense it all in to make my actions very small just for the camera. And because I'm very expressive. That's one thing my directors are always telling me. They're saying, Jael, it was great. Just bring it down just a little bit. I'm like, okay, I got you. So I bring your eyes down, like stop being so expressive. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I got to ask you this question. Support you get from your family and friends and what you're doing.
I have a great support system. My best friend is literally my number one fan. She's the one always calling me and asking me, okay, so what are you doing? Why aren't you doing this? Or you need to be doing this because your face is your selling point. I need you to be doing this. Oh, if I'm doing anything, she's the one promoting it or telling everybody that she knows about it. My family, they support me 100%, even though sometimes I know they're giving me the side eye every now and then because I'm the only one in the acting profession or the entertainment profession, period. So I know every now and then they're like, okay, so acting, entertainment, yeah. I'm like, yeah, that I'll take that job. Let me bring that to the family. But they support me whatever I'm doing, and I tell them, they go, all right, just let me know, and I will be right there, or just let us know what you're doing so we can support you in any way, shape, or form that we can.
Have they been to one of your plays?
They do. I'm actually in a play now, and they're already hitting my phone up saying, I know you're in a play. What are the dates? Just tell me so I can make sure I'm there, so I can buy tickets, and I'll tell this person, and I'll tell that person, so we can all come. I'm like, that's all I need you to do for me.
Marvelous. It's good to have that support from family and friends. Definitely.
No, it really is.
What roles do you take that you like to do?
I don't have any particular type of role that I like to play. I really like to stretch myself and try new things because you never really know what you do like or what you don't like until you actually try it. I really find that I have a knack. It's a lot of hard work, but a knack for comedy. It's just a lot of fun, and I think it's because I'm a sarcastic kind of guy. I'm always cracking a joke if I can. So,
Give us one. Give us an example.
Oh, not that kind of joke, like cracking, just like talking about somebody. You say something, I'll go, that's why, da 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 da. It's like, oh, I'm like the a-hole kind of jokes, but those kind of sarcastic kind of jokes.
Yeah, you too much.
But they're really fun to do. I have a knack of finding the comedy in roles. I have a way of making something funny that wasn't even meant to be funny in the first place. I was doing a dramatic piece and I said a line, and to me, I didn't mean to do it, but it came out funny. And the director looked at me and he said, "That wasn't supposed to be funny, but I really liked it." It's like, oh, well, there you go. Thank you.
Stand-up comedy, maybe?
I thought about it for like a quick second, but I really, honestly, I don't think I'm that funny, which makes no sense.
That's your opinion. Other folks like you.
True. It's something I've thought about. I haven't given too much thought about it though.
Got you. You know, you and I meeting each other for the first time, and on this show, there's a bone that I have to pick with actors and actresses out there. Those people in the audience, they hear it and they said, "Oh, he's going to say it again," and that is, people come here to L.A. They want to be a star, and that's great. Ain't nothing wrong with that. They'll do film, they'll do television, but guess what?
They will not do theater.
Thank you. Do it.
They will not do theater. And I don't understand why. To me, theater is a great foundation or just a great way to learn how to act. Yes. Because there's no cut, there's no stopping. You have to keep going, and it really keeps you on your toes. And you have to learn the entire scene or the entire piece in its entirety. You have to know the entire body of work inside and out, because again, there's no cutting, there's no stopping. And so you really learn, you learn great memorizational skills, you learn great improv work, because there are times when you're delivering lines in theater, you might actually slip up and forget to see your lines. So you're like, and your brain is working like, okay, well, what do I do next? Right. And you have to think of it on the spot. Right. But what you might not know is that's actually helping you and building you as an actor. I've had that happen to me. I've literally had a long monologue. And while I was halfway through, I couldn't remember my next part. So I skipped ahead. And then while I skipped to the end, and while I was saying the end portion, I remembered the section that I forgot. So I went back and I intertwined it all together, and I still made it work. And the director, he came up to me, he's like, "You made it work, so I honestly don't care." And I was like, it's stuff like that. It helps build your confidence as an actor. I love theater.
We got just a couple of moments left, but you indicated that you're doing a play right now. Can you tell us about it? Who, what, where, when, and why?
Yes, I'm currently in a play that's called How I Learned to Drive. And I'm doing it with the Collaborative Artist Ensemble. We'll be doing it at the Sherry Theater in North Hollywood, and we start February 17th through March 19th, every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's a very dark comedy, but it's also a taboo love story. And we are introduced to this woman named Little Bit, and we're taken through the past of her, through this taboo relationship that she's in and how it's affected her to be the woman that she currently is.
Okay. Well, Joel, I want to thank you very much for being with us today. I hope we all learned a little bit from you about what you're doing. Second brain. Best wishes to the actor from Inglewood.
Inglewood, always up to no good. Thank you very much, sir.
My pleasure, man. Pleasure. I want to thank our sponsors, Hobby Brandman Photography is Art, Ron Irwin's Lose Life, The Way to Lose Weight, Larry Buford's book To the Future, Time Travel, Message in a Capsule, State Farm agent Carla Green, and veteran actor Rob Brownstein's actor training skill and actor space. Much thanks to our guest today, ladies and gentlemen, dancer, actress, and first African-American female rockette Jennifer Jones. producing artistic director, actress Odalys Nanin, and actor Jael Saran. And of course, special thanks to our ever growing audience. Be well. We'll see you next time.